Hi everyone, and welcome back to another study of Galatians. Today we're going to be skipping quite a few verses in chapter 3, not because they're not awesome, but because we just don't have time to go through it all. There is so much good in chapter 3, so much information and explanation on the covenant and the law, the difference between the Abrahamic covenant, the promise made with Abraham and God, and the Mosaic law, which came after it about 430 years. And that's what Paul points out. And there's so much good stuff there, man. You could study that for years and still not fully understand it. But the main thing being, it is by faith that we are saved. And today, we're going to be jumping back into the inclusive nature of the gospel. It was never meant to be this weird thing where Israel was the only one that God loved, or God only gave salvation to the Israelites. No, actually, Israel was always meant to be a blessing to all nations and to bring all nations to God. And Jesus ultimately fulfilled that promise that God made to Abraham, that he would be a blessing to all nations. And that is so beautiful because God has always planned to bring all people to him, because there is no hierarchy of value among human beings, that we are all made in God's image. And this is what our passage is talking about today. We're just going to look at two verses. So these verses that we're about to read comes right after all of that context I tried to give you in just a minute. But here we have verses 26 through 29. That's what we're going to read today, so let's check it out. So, in Christ Jesus, you are all children of God through faith. For all of you were baptized into Christ and have been clothed yourselves with Christ. There is neither Jew nor Gentile, neither slave nor free, nor is there male or female. For you are all one in Christ. And if you belong to Christ, then you are Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise. So important. There is no distinction between Jew or Gentile. There's not a slave nor free. There is not male or female. He's not saying that there's no gender that exists anymore. He's not saying that Jews and Gentiles don't exist anymore. He doesn't say that all slavery has been abolished. What is he saying here? What he's saying here is, once again, that the gospel of Jesus is inclusive, includes all people, no matter what nation they're from, no matter what gender they are, no matter if they have been oppressed or put into slavery. The gospel is for them and invites you into it, no matter who you are, and it makes us all on equal grounds. There is no greater and no better. How do I know this? It's because the whole context of Galatians is a rebuttal against those who are trying to divide others. They're trying to divide people into groups of value. They're trying to say the Jews, those who are circumcised, the Judaizers, those are the most valuable Christians, the most valuable Jesus followers. And Peter falls into that trap. We get to see that in chapter 1. We talked about it earlier. But that is not God's gospel. That is bad news. The good news is that we're all on equal footing in Christ, because we've all been clothed in Christ. And when God looks at us, he sees Jesus. He sees redeemed. He sees the face, his own face, because we're made in his image. And that's what the gospel is all about. And that's what I want to leave you with today, that God makes sure that there is no level system in his faith. It's all about trusting in Jesus. There's no best Christians or better Christians. There is no you're better because you're a guy. There is no you're better because you're a part of this nation or race. It's all one in Christ. Even those who have been enslaved are still seen as free in Christ, and because that's what God is all about. He's about freeing the oppressed, and he's about making us unified in him. So think about that. Even though some Christianity has had times when the bad news has leaked in, and these hierarchical codes start coming in and making it bad news, making it sound like, okay, these certain people are better than others. That's never been God's intention. It's all of our human brokenness that leads us to do that. And that's just what humans do. We like to make some humans better than others. But God says, no, I made you all absolutely lovely in my sight. Okay, I could go on about this forever. I hope this is helpful for your journey. Let me know in the comments if you think so. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.